Chris, what did we get from Comic-Con?
We got a new trailer.
Awesome.
We got all kinds of new pictures. We got cast interviews. We got everything you could want.
You know, I think a lot of people are going to die in this show.
Yeah.
Greetings and welcome to the Prime Directive. My god, we've got Comic-Con trailers to talk about, images. There's so much that happened over the weekend. Oh, my co-host Chris is here. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
Chris, what do you want to talk about first? Images?
Yeah, let's start going through some of these photos. There are a lot. Let's start off with some of the weapons here. We've got a lot of interesting pictures of that.
Yeah, it looks like Frakes tweeted out a nice little hand phaser.
Yeah, this looks really consistent with the original series. It doesn't look like they're changing too much up with this.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's got a little bit of wear and tear on there. It looks like, we might be in a bit more of a Warren universe.
Mm-hmm. And we've also gotten a bunch of images of a phaser rifle.
Yes.
Which looks really cool.
Very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Makos had nice rifles, but it's nice they're carrying on that tradition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we don't see anywhere near as much of the big rifles in any of the series as we do with the little hand ones, but
yeah, even the rifles in Voyager, which you saw a lot more, and I guess DS9 too, but like it was just like the hand phaser from TNG on top of a longer gated
yeah. I really didn't like the big phaser rifles from sort of the TNG era. They were just like this long and they looked very unwieldy.
Yeah, it's like you could just break off the front and use it as a hand phaser.
Yeah. Next, let's take a look at some of these Klingon disruptors. Yeah, these look nasty.
Yeah, I like that they got the little bayonet on the front there, and
they got triple bayonet action.
Yeah, Klingons don't want to fool around. They want to stab you 3 times.
Yeah, stabbing them once is not good enough.
You can survive that. 3, you're definitely getting a kidney.
Yeah, so we've got a smaller, more handheld one going on here, and we've got its big brother as well. There's no stun setting on these guys. I think I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, no, they don't want any prisoners. They'll just shoot somebody in the leg if they want a prisoner.
Yeah. Now, I'm really excited about this new Batleth that we've got here.
Yes, well, it looks nice hanging on a wall.
Oh my god. Okay, so the Batleth has never, from a practical utilitarian point of view, actually been a very practical weapon. You know, a lot of people say that, it makes more sense to just have a sword or something.
I like how they've always just hit somebody in the face with it, and then that knocks them back, but never kills them. Shouldn't that blade cut them?
It knocks them back left.
Yeah, okay.
But no, this actually does look sharp. It has pointed edges on it. Sort of the mouth here almost reminds me of a little insect mouth. It's got pincers going on. And I'm really, really interested by the right-hand edge here that has the spike on it, the little inward spike. I think there's going to be actual choreography with that thing. Like, that spike's going to be used to stab people or to hook onto things and grab them. And, we're going to be seeing stuff other than just, Hail Mary, haymaker, Batleth slams everywhere.
Well, it does look consistent with the armor and kind of the style that this, ancient house is going to have. But practical-wise, I mean, I'm a big sword guy and I don't see enough blade in there. I don't see it as an effective, you got a couple stabby points and that's it. That doesn't make an effective weapon. On a nice elongated blade, and one that's actually sharp.
That's true. This doesn't look as curvy or elegant and flowy as the classic Batleth design.
I like to see Michael Dorn play with this because, he's the guy that practiced with the Batleth the most to make it look like a natural swinging weapon.
Mm-hmm.
That just looks on weird.
All right.
Make it part of your hand. Part of your arm. Make it part of you.
So Chris, we got a couple more looks at the communicators. Got a nice gold top. I like the display inside of it.
Yeah, we've seen a fair bit of the communicator so far. It's been in a couple pics and trailers, but just before Comic-Con, we got a short little teaser that showed us the inside with the digital display, and I really like that.
Yeah, no, it aligns perfectly with TOS, I think.
Yeah, it's a great way to keep the aesthetic of the classic communicator, but modernize it a bit and really show us what's going on in the little inside there. So we have seen a lot of images come down about the new uniforms.
Yeah, they had them all lined up there at Comic-Con. It's nice.
Yeah, looked great. A lot of the stuff about the uniforms we have seen already. The only new stuff that we saw was apparently we're getting a different look for the medical uniforms, which we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I think it lines up nicely. If you can remember motion picture, they did have a lot of white uniforms in there. Bones had a medical uniform that was white.
Yeah, I think that's the only time we've seen medical get its own specific color. It's always been lumped in there with sciences.
And they get their own comm badge too.
Yeah, that's true. And I really like the look of this. I think this looks great. Now the other uniform I want to discuss is going to be the Torchbearer.
It's quite the armor.
Yeah, take a look at this. That is intricacy way beyond what I was expecting for a TV show.
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of other weapons, like we didn't do the daggers there, but the daggers have so much writing in there. It's even got Klingon writing on the dagger. It's like got little grooves and little indentations. So like the detail that they're putting into the show is actually like to be applauded. I mean,
yeah, everything I've seen from the props so far has been completely above and beyond. And this guy's armor is the crown jewel in that so far. I mean, holy crap, this looks cool.
Yeah, and it's capable of going into space.
Yeah, this is a spacesuit.
And from what I heard, the helmets, like not even just that one, but the other helmets, they have tactical displays inside.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they're not only just going to be keeping them from, like, breathing space, like, they can actually see stuff and target stuff.
He's got a HUD.
Yeah. Very Halo-esque.
So before we get into the trailer here, let's go over the other really big news we got out of Comic-Con, and that is the redesign on the USS Discovery.
Yeah, it's definitely missing some plating there.
Yeah.
They had the very much like the Franklin, where they had that little ring surrounding it. Now it's gone.
Yeah, like quite completely gone. There's empty space there now.
Whether it's to avoid photon torpedoes or not, you know, get their ensign to angle the ship right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what maneuver we're going to call that, but I'm not sure what other practical use it has.
Yeah, they've also seemed to have redesigned and elongated the nacelles a bit. But most people are definitely talking about that saucer section there.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if this isn't involved in saucer sep somehow. I think it's going to be just the interior with the bridge on it that can just pop off and go somewhere.
Yeah, with the ship's design, I mean, like, I'm still not seeing that angle that pained me in that first trailer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could probably shoot the whole show without showing us certain angles of the ship.
Yeah, they could.
You're like, oh, our ship is awesome, don't buy the model.
But at least don't hang it in a certain way in the room.
Don't bring it out when company's over.
Yeah, for sure.
They will judge you.
One theory that I saw having to do with the redesign here was to add extra windows. It was sort of an interesting theory because, you know, in universe, there's no reason to do that. But out of universe, having more windows, the argument was, gives us a better sense of scale. It makes the ship look more alive. And also it gives them more interesting locations to film in when they're doing scenes on the ship.
Yeah, I'd hate to be one of those people stuck on the inside, though. There's your view, you know.
Yeah, it's someone else's room.
Yeah.
Also, this seems like it would just be awful to get from one layer of the ring to the other. You got to walk all the way around.
Yeah, not looking forward to that. You know, I know it's a traditional staple, and it's really, you know, don't want to change any more tradition that they're already doing, but the bridge, I mean, when are we going to stop exposing the bridge? When is it going to stop being like the Titan concept drawing? Like, it's not an official thing, but the USS Titan, at least it's got the grooves and the bridge is sunken behind that a bit. So, like, there's a little protection for a bridge. We're back to not protecting a bridge, man.
Yeah, front and center, stick a big light on it.
Yeah, just don't shoot us.
You know what? Federation ships are like the enemy in every video game. It's just got a big glowing weak point. You know, shoot here for critical damage.
Yeah. Well, Chris, shall we move on to the trailer?
Oh boy.
Oh god, that Shenzhou looks amazing.
Yes, it does. I've liked the design of the Shenzhou since we first saw it. It looks really good.
Yeah, the more clips of it, I'm really gonna miss that ship.
Yeah, and the trailer does seem to suggest that something bad's gonna happen there.
Yeah.
We get those couple frames of a bunch of escape pods ejecting what appears to be the Shenzhou.
Yeah, I mean, you get to see a ship explode, but I think that's from the Shenzhou's bridge.
Yeah, I think it's they're looking at that other ship. I like how we're getting a little bit of color on the Shenzhou. The deflector on the front, or at least I think it's the deflector, is a nice purple hue.
But we didn't really get any design of the USS Europa, but we do get to see it explode.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what it looks like. But I couldn't find anything on the Europa. I mean,
No, there doesn't seem to have been any other Federation ships with that name in the canon.
yeah, anything non-canon, there's like a Luna class, but that's it.
Yeah. One thing I really like so far, just from what we've seen of the couple trailers, is we're seeing a lot of different Federation ships, and they also have very different designs.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I really liked an Enterprise, the USS Columbia, very different from the Enterprise, and even in Next Gen, the Yamato, very, very different.
Transmission from the Yamato, sir. On viewer. Donald. What's a nice Starfleet captain like you doing in a place like this?
I sense it coming now.
Yeah, so we're probably not going to be seeing a lot of this budget-saving sister ship kind of thing. And I'm also wondering if this is going to be the death of the also budget-saving, we're the only ship in the quadrant trope.
Looking by the trailer, the Klingons completely outnumber the Shenzhou.
Yeah.
So hopefully when the Discovery goes into battle with Klingons, they can call for backup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll come back to the Shenzhou, Chris, but what about that four-armed crab creature on the planet?
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting looking alien.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it does.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure initially whether it's an animal or it's an actual intelligent creature, but it does seem to be wearing some kind of clothing, so...
Well, it's being played by a person, so I'm going to go intelligent creature. It's
Okay.
got 4 arms. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's kind of like a tracking thing, and like even after they've left the planet, it's going to continue to hunt her throughout the season.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, because I was thinking that might just be a resident of whatever that little desert planet is.
that's probably what it is, and that's what I'm worried about, because I want to see more of this thing.
Okay.
I want to see this thing follow her throughout the whole season. That would be awesome. So it looks like we get a good old-fashioned curb stomping on Klingon Bridge there.
Yeah, looks like that was Takuvma that was getting beat up.
Yeah, could have been. Hard to tell. Yeah, all the faces, but we're getting all this cool Klingon armor. We're getting all this stuff. You said the holograms. We got Klingons behind them.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty interesting couple of frames from the trailer there. We know that they're wanting to do different looks for all the different Klingon houses. Like they've got their own sort of culture and style, which is something that's been sorely lacking from a lot of Star Trek races. And yeah, just for a couple frames in the background there, we do have some very different looking Klingon armor for a couple of sort of hologram Klingons.
Yeah, you're totally nailed that one with the culture. Like the entire race is this one thing for most of the time in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna get different things. They're gonna have their own style of ships, like this ancient family. I don't know how many of them are connected to them, but it looks like there's gonna be their own style of ships. But we did get to see some birds of prey in there.
Yes, we did.
And that makes the canon of my heart feel better.
Yeah, it's nice to see we're not completely abandoning this stuff when it comes to the Klingons. One thing I noticed from that little battle sequence is we seem to have abandoned the bubble shields, which have been very popular in Star Trek, and we're going to the sort of hull-hugging, form-fitting ones that we saw sort of towards the end of Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Like, there's no reason to extend your shields unless you're actually helping out somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like Harry Mudd kind of did in the trailer. Looks like helped Sonequa escape her predicament.
I feel like this is going to be getting a lot of hate in the coming days, but I really liked Harry Mudd in the trailer there.
His delivery of the line is good. The line itself is kind of cheesy, but I like Rainn Wilson.
It could just be a setup for the joke in the trailer, like, you're mad. She doesn't even have to be saying that to Harry Mudd. He just goes, I'm Mudd, and I love his face when he does it.
Yeah, he's pretty excited to say it. I think he could be a good comical character. I like the actor, so.
And I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of him. I think he's just gonna be in the area in the first episode or two.
Yeah, it looks like he's kind of salvaging ships and stuff.
All right, Jeff. So let's talk about Captain Lorca here.
Yeah, I'm feeling I'm really gonna like this guy.
He definitely looks pretty suspicious. There's some stuff going on underneath the surface there with this guy.
We are creating a new way to fly.
Yeah, what's with that, different way to fly comment?
That is really interesting. That's probably the most intriguing line from the trailer. Is this some kind of trans-warp ship way before we should be even exploring that.
Well, that's the thing. There are other like ways to fly, like other civilizations they could have learned from, but like warp might not have been like the only way to do it. Like I'm sure it's going to be warp involved, but there are like several different test ships out there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the Discovery. Maybe Discovery's running some like program that just hasn't been used before.
Just some kind of subspace corridor or transwarp conduit like the Borg are doing, or maybe it's completely innocuous.
It folds space so that point A and point B coexist in the same space and time. When the spacecraft passes through the gateway, space returns to normal. It's called a gravity drive.
How do you know all this?
I built it.
They could be going through some sort of space that makes Captain Lorca more unstable.
Yeah.
He seems like he's gonna lose it at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is that one quick scene from the trailer where he looks like he's behind a force field in the med bay.
Yeah.
So I wonder what's up with that.
Yeah, they're just like, Captain, calm down, stay there, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Dr. Wade tells us is true. This ship has been beyond the boundaries of our universe, of known scientific reality. Who knows where it's been, what it's seen, and what it's brought back with it.
He's made a lot of comments, and it looks like he's a fun interview for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But he says he's not trying to be any Picard, and as not being the lead of a series, he doesn't have to be a like upstanding captain. Like Archer had no choice. Like he's got to be the best like form of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
But Lorca can do whatever the hell he wants because he knows he's getting replaced at some point.
Yeah. I do want to talk about the interviews later, but one thing he did mention in the interview is his character is damaged by and created by the war that they're in.
Yeah.
So this is not a happy guy. This is not an upstanding citizen of the Federation, I don't think.
I do like that he's poking fun at the fans in the interviews, as we're all freaking out over everything. Klingons look different, Bat'leth looks like crap, just hanging on the wall, it'd be okay. But
nobody hates Star Trek like Star Trek fans.
Yeah, but he also says, like, for us Trekkies, there's going to be a ton of Easter eggs. But yeah, the series is going to be its own thing. It's going to be different. So Chris, it looks like Burnham's exploring in the ship and ends up in the hydroponic bay and discovers Rap's Wii collection.
Yeah, absolutely. That might just be my bias as a BC boy.
Yeah.
But that is a room full of wheat.
Yeah, that's huge. Like the trees, there's so much of it. You see the little mist, probably keeping the temperatures at some point. I would think they need to be higher, but mist generally, insinuates lower.
No, from a serious perspective, I assume that does have something to do with Rap there, his astromycologist character.
Yeah.
It looked like she was pretty shocked to find it, so I have no idea what that has to do with anything plot-wise, but I don't even know what ship we're on.
Yeah. Well, if it's Rap, it's probably the Discovery. I don't think Rap's on the Shenzhou.
Okay, so this is some sort of nefarious space weed.
Yeah, I wonder if there's something up with the Discovery, like, that there's all this strange stuff going on. Like, when she says in the trailer, like, something weird's going on here, maybe that's on the Discovery. Maybe there's a lot of weird, like, Twilight Zone-esque things going on when she gets over there.
There was that quick scene with the water droplets just sort of floating.
Yeah,
that might have been a gravity malfunction or some kind of time thing. Like,
it looks like Emily Coots is lying there in bed, depressed.
Yeah.
But, there could be something suspicious going on in the Discovery.
I think so. So, one little quick thing from some of the images we've been getting out of Comic-Con here, and I thought this was a little weird and pretty interesting. Just this one image we have of some concept art from what looks like a little Klingon ship or a Klingon shuttle, and it describes part of it as Islamic outer shell. So initially I thought that this might just be some use of the word Islamic that I'm not entirely familiar with. Might be something to do with like a geometric pattern or the shape of it or something like that. But Google tells me that no. The only use of the word Islamic is to refer to the religion of Islam. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck that has to do with a Klingon ship.
No idea.
Yeah, so that definitely jumps out at me from this image here, and I haven't seen anyone else talking about this as being really weird and really interesting, and I'm interested to see how that fits into Star Trek here.
The ship kind of looks like it's an escape pod that forms wings and can fly off on its own.
Yep.
So it does look like we're going to be getting some flashbacks in there. So I wonder if we're going to see more of Michelle Yeoh, because it looks like she's getting Sean Beaned in that pilot episode.
Oh, do you think that's going to happen that early?
I think wasn't it you that said how do they afford her?
Oh, maybe. But I mean, they're showing off some budget in this, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, their Netflix deal alone paid for it. So.
Yep.
We get some flashbacks to Sirek. We're gonna have him discovering, I think, Burnham, but I think we're gonna be getting lots of flashbacks to Sirek.
Yeah, so my understanding of the relationship between Sarek and Burnham is that she basically has a Worf origin story. Her parents were killed and she was adopted by Sarek and Amanda and raised on Vulcan. So she's going to be, doing a very Worf thing, but with a human on Vulcan.
Yeah, Sarek's a busy guy. I mean, he's got a half Vulcan, half human child. He's got a human child now, and he's also got a full Vulcan child.
Where does he find the time?
Yeah.
So one last thing I think I want to mention out of the trailer here is in the first trailer we have scenes of her wearing gold on her uniform. She's got gold trim. And in this one there's a bunch of scenes of her in silver. So there's some changes going on.
Yeah, they got a lot of different uniform changes. I like that we got close-ups of the vest at the Comic-Con there. Who knows? She's going to be jumping ranks, so.
Mm-hmm. And this does highlight pretty much my few issues with these new uniforms. It is so hard to tell the difference between the gold and silver and probably the bronze too on screen.
Bronze is going to be the worst. And
I again want to highlight, I really hate that the only rank pips we're getting are on the comm badge.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Great, I can tell who the captain is by the little shoulder pads, but it's not enough. Well, Chris, through interviews and social media, we pretty much learned that there's maybe 4 episodes left.
Yeah, they're pretty far along in filming. Actually, in that interview, Jason Isaacs made a bit of a joke when they asked how far along they were in filming. He said they were 47 episodes in, and really hardcore Trekkies will know that 47 is sort of an in-joke for the writers and producers, and any time that they can just stick whatever random number into a scene, they usually pick 47. And if that was actually an intentional joke on Isaac's part, then, damn, he's been doing his homework.
Yeah, I noticed with a lot of the interviews that the cast had really good chemistry, like just hanging out, having fun together.
Yeah, they seem to get along really well.
Even Isaac's shouting at Doug Jones that he's a Kelpling. Mm-hmm. I guess that's his racist name.
Yeah, what was it called? It was the...
Kelpian.
Kelpian, okay.
Yeah. It looks like they've already tied down a relationship for Rap with Wilson Cruz, who's going to be playing Dr. Hugh Culber.
Yeah. Do we know if this is a guy who's on the Discovery as well, or...?
I would assume, because I don't think Rap's on the Shenzhou. I think he's on the Discovery.
No, but I mean, his boyfriend's actually on the ship with him, and it's not like a distance relationship or anything.
I don't know, but Kurtzman did say, Roddenberry, did not address a lot of these things. It just was, when it came to racial concerns and relationships. Mm-hmm. So he said that they're just going to follow that along, it's not going to be making a deal out of anything. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Even if in a lot of present day contexts it might be more helpful to make a deal out of it, and sort of explain, this is the way we are and we're just doing this sort of thing. It doesn't make any sense to do in a Star Trek context. It's the central conceit of Star Trek is that we are just done with this stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any more sense to be bigoted against people for their color or their sexual orientation than it does to be against left-handed people.
No, those lefties, Chris. But it's pretty ridiculous when you think about it. All us Star Trek fans and sci-fi fans in general. Recently everybody's flipping out over a female doctor. I don't know how many people flipped out having a female lead in this series, but all these tiny little things this. If you believe in Star Trek, then I assume some part of you believes that we should be better like Star Trek.
Yeah. All right. One thing we've seen from a quick interview with Shazad Latif, you'll remember he was originally going to be a Klingon, but he's a Starfleet officer now. And so we have a little bit of information about his character. He's going to be playing Lieutenant Tyler, and we first meet him as a POW, in a prison cell.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be a Klingon one or something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we know that, and we know he's going to be a security officer.
Yeah, hopefully he's not just a random security officer that's going to die at some point because, like, he had a role and then it got changed on him. So hopefully his other role's just as significant.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there are a lot of, like, main-ish characters in Discovery, sort of like your Guinans or your Garricks, or people who aren't in every episode but are pretty interesting when they do end up on screen.
Yeah, I thought that was always a key thing for a lot of the sci-fi shows like Babylon 5, having secondary characters that didn't go away.
Yeah, or like, your Shrans in Enterprise, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, Chris, but I felt the trailer probably answered a lot of questions for people, maybe brought them back on board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of hate for Discovery, and, you know, whether you want to hate it or not, you should give it a chance to see whether it's going to be a good Star Trek. I mean, Voyager's probably my least favorite Star Trek, but I still watch it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Enterprise, I think when it all started, it was pretty slow, and everybody's just like hating on Enterprise, but if you kept watching it, guess what? Got really good.
Season 4 was fantastic.
Well, that's all our coverage for the 2017 Comic-Con.
Yeah, there was a lot of information that came out this weekend, but I think we hit all the important bits.
Yeah, if we missed anything, you know, just comment below. I'm sure we'll try to cover it again later.
Mm-hmm.
As always, thanks for watching.